Life on Earth has already been subjected to a number of mass extinctions throughout its history. The world-ending events of the past have brought everything from volcanic eruption to slow-build climate change to fundamental changes in the makeup of our atmosphere. An asteroid strike, though, brings much more sudden death and destruction, as well as all of those other factors. So could a rock from space one day trigger our next mass extinction? This is Unveiled, and today we're uncovering the extraordinary asteroids that could one day kill us all. Are you a fiend for facts? Are you constantly curious? Then why not subscribe to Unveiled for more clips like this one, and ring the bell for more fascinating content. Though large asteroid strikes are a rare occurrence, smaller ones happen far more frequently. According to NASA, Earth is bombarded with an average of 100 tons of space dust on a daily basis, and small asteroids, which are still roughly the same size as small cars, enter Earth's atmosphere every year. Thankfully, the vast majority of rocks like these burn up before they hit the ground. But occasionally, our planet is pelted with something bigger. The amount of damage a larger asteroid could cause depends on a variety of factors, including the speed and angle of impact, but even were an asteroid with a width of just 25 meters to land in a rural and unpopulated area, it's thought the force would still be enough to shatter windows and release light bright enough to cause instant sunburn. A rock the size of a house could detonate on Earth with as much power as a nuclear bomb. Meanwhile, asteroids the size of football fields impact on Earth roughly every 2,000 years. However, for an asteroid to truly threaten the entire planet, it has to have a diameter of at least 1 kilometer. Fortunately, rocks this size ramming into us are exceptionally rare, but that's not to say that the solar system as a whole doesn't contain thousands of asteroids big enough to pose a problem. In fact, a width of 1 kilometer is actually quite small compared to some of what's lurking in the asteroid belt, for example, where rocks can be as large as 900 kilometers across and more. As far as we know, we've never been hit with anything quite that big, but arguably the most famous asteroid strike in history came via the Chicxulub impactor some 66 million years ago. A fateful rock thought to have been more than 10 kilometers across, it's also held by many as the event which triggered the KPG mass extinction, which wiped out the dinosaurs. There's no real reason to expect another impact on this scale anytime soon, but such monumental events do happen, and could theoretically happen at any moment were an asteroid to go unnoticed. Missing something that big, though, does it ever really happen? Surprisingly, yes it does. In the summer of 2019, for example, we had a reasonably close call with an asteroid named 2019 OK, a football field-sized rock which flew right by Earth with little to no warning beforehand. 2019 OK came within 70,000 kilometers of our planet, meaning it was less than 1/5 the distance to the moon from us. Still a long way away, but cosmologically speaking, uncomfortably nearby. In fact, it was the largest asteroid to pass by Earth in a century, and yet it was only spotted on the very same day that it flew past us. Say 2019 OK had veered just a fraction off course and headed towards Earth, it would have made an impact that devastated an area at least 80 kilometers across. Generally speaking, NASA and the world's other space agencies are on top of things, however, keeping track of thousands of asteroids flying through space at any given time. Sure, there are some that slip through, but for the most part, we're already well aware of the most threatening asteroids out there, and we've calculated the likelihood that they'll ever cross our path. Prior warning, asteroid naming practices aren't exactly what you'd call creative. One of the most threatening to us is named 85713 1998 SS49. This particular asteroid is part of the Apollo group, a band of asteroids that are all expected to pass close by Earth at multiple times in the future, with this one expected to also eventually pass closer than the moon at around 344,000 kilometers. While it's smaller than the Chicxulub impactor at around 3 kilometers wide, were it to veer off course and hit us, then it would still inflict major damage. Interestingly, 85713 1998 SS49 is also expected to pass by both Mars and Venus, making it a multi-planet threat, although so far there's no solid evidence that a collision will happen. It's difficult to precisely track objects like these because of their low reflectivity and relatively small size compared to things like planets and moons. But these asteroids are also listed as PHAs, potentially hazardous asteroids, for a reason, because researchers believe they have the potential to change direction to become even more threatening than they already are. No matter how tricky it is to keep rocks like these in our sights, scientists are doing everything they can not to lose them. Another asteroid listed as a PHA is 4179 Tutatis, one of the largest and most lethal objects currently expected to pass close by Earth. With a diameter of 5 kilometers, it's more than big enough to end a large majority of life and trigger worldwide effects on our planet if it strikes. Chutatis is especially notorious though because it has a highly eccentric orbit, meaning that it's also one of the most unpredictable asteroids out there. It's also a frequent visitor to our particular region of the solar system, having had various close encounters with Earth, including in 2012 when it passed within 18 lunar distances of us. It's currently projected to pass by Earth again in 2069, but this time it'll be twice as close. If that projection proves correct, then we'll be comfortably safe. But if its orbit proves even more chaotic than we think it is, then maybe not. The outright largest known asteroid with the potential to impact Earth is another prospect entirely. It's named 53319-1999 JM8 and is a whopping 7 kilometers wide, making it only slightly smaller than the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. It's another frequent flyer around these parts, having passed within 0.2 astronomical units of Earth at least 5 times in the last century, with its next approach at a similar distance slated for 2075. JM8 is also extremely dim, has exceptionally low reflectivity, and a chaotic orbital path, all of which makes it especially difficult to track through a telescope and therefore a likely candidate for one day passing by without our knowing. In the event that it didn't pass by but instead smashed into us, well, our planet would be plunged into an apocalyptic scenario, facing multiple extinctions and total ecological shakeup. But, and this is important, not one of these asteroids is actually expected to hit Earth, rather to pass unusually close by. Right now, their orbits are subject to change, which is why they're monitored as a potential threat. But that doesn't mean that any of these rocks really will crash into us anytime soon. It's just that if any of them did change course, defy predictions, and make straight for us, then they'd all have the potential to bring about worldwide chaos. And those are the asteroids that could kill us all.